What's going on, Jets fans? Welcome into NYJ today. In this video, I'm going to be discussing all of the things that I believe the New York Jets are guaranteed to do during the 2022 offseason, which is shaping up to be one of the biggest in franchise history. Let's go ahead and get after it. Before I get into the video, if I could get you to please jet up the like button, and if you're new here and you enjoyed the content, please consider subscribing to the channel. I do want to let you know that we will be live this upcoming Wednesday, January 19th at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, and we're going to be discussing all things New York Jets and the 2022 offseason. And so we're going to talk about free agency, the draft, the Senior Bowl, and the fact that the Jets will be coaching in that game, which is a great thing for this franchise. And so, if you like the live streams and if you enjoy interacting with other Jets fans, would love to have you come hang out with us and give us some of your takes. My first guarantee of the 2022 offseason is going to be that Joe Douglas is going to be as aggressive as he's ever been in an offseason under the New York Jets command. So when I talk about aggressiveness, I'm not just talking about, trades in the NFL draft. We've kind of already seen that. He's traded back. He's traded up. He's acquired draft picks. I think what we're going to see this offseason is going to be more of Joe Douglas trying to bring in some of that top tier talent in free agency. We saw him go after Carl Lawson, and I think that he was a borderline, top tier guy in free agency last offseason. But in most cases, we've seen him kind of go for that second and third tier player in free agency. This is the year where I think he is going to open up his checkbook, be aggressive, spend some money. We certainly have it as of right now, as I alluded to in the previous segment. And the other thing that I think we're going to see Joe Douglas do is make a trade and acquire a player on another football team. So that could be a guy like a Calvin Ridley. There's a bunch of players though out there in the NFL, and a number of them could help this football team. I know a lot of people are very, very, hot and cold on Calvin Ridley, and ultimately my stance on it is somewhere in the middle, because if Calvin Ridley is mentally well and is no longer dealing with the issues that he was having during the season, if he wants to play football and if he would be willing to play for the New York Jets, I don't see how you would be opposed to that kind of a move, because he's a perfect scheme fit. He's only 28 years old, and he's a big-time playmaker, and he can run routes really, really well. So when I think about a guy like Calvin coming in, it would just absolutely help Zach Wilson a ton. So all in all, does it have to be Calvin Ridley? Will it be Calvin Ridley? Not necessarily. I do believe that the New York Jets will acquire a player, though, from another football team. Another guarantee that I'm going to go ahead and make for the 2022 offseason is that I believe the New York Jets are going to emphasize improving this defense. And I know that's not like some massive, crazy guarantee, but I think some fans are of the mindset that we should still be in hot pursuit of offensive players and trying to basically just build a wall and add weapons for Zach Wilson. And I do want to do that, so please don't get it twisted. I just believe that the New York Jets are going to heavily invest in the defensive side of the football. So I do believe that at least one of those first-round picks will be a defensive player. I also believe that one of those second-round picks will probably be a defensive player as well. And again, I think they're going to try to add some talent through free agency, through trades. And so, again, the emphasis will be in adding speed and pass rush to this defense. So all in all, I'm going to say that the New York Jets are going to add to that linebacking crew. They're going to potentially add some cornerbacks as well. They're going to add some edge rushers. I think that's really, you can't talk about it enough. The pass rush just simply has to be better. It wasn't good enough this past year. And I think that's why you saw, our secondary at times, get burnt downfield. And, I think that, again, if you add pass rush, you are fixing so many issues with this defense. You're going to be able to create turnovers, which we did not do well enough. You're going to create negative plays, TFLs, sacks, errant passes. That's what a pass rush is all about. And so I believe that Joe Douglas, Robert Saleh, Jeff Ulbrich, I do believe they're going to have an offseason plan to really improve this unit. My third guarantee for the 2022 offseason is bound to upset some people, so if you do disagree, please leave me a comment and let me know why you disagree. But my guarantee is that the New York Jets will not spend a first-round pick on Kyle Hamilton, the safety from Notre Dame, and also they will not spend a first-round pick on an offensive lineman. So I'm going to very quickly go through this, but basically, I don't think that Joe Douglas values the safety position, and I think that when you look at the roster right now, the way it's constructed, we do not have enough safeties. Like we need to improve that position group, and I want to make sure that everybody understands. I'm not saying we're going to ignore the position, just simply that we're not going to draft one in the first round. So that's a first guarantee. And then, of course, the offensive line. So I know that we saw that, that final game in Week 18 versus the Buffalo Bills. Zach Wilson, he got sacked, I think, 8 times. It was an absolute, disaster performance for the offensive line and for Zach Wilson. The quarterback cannot get hit that much. And again, I just want to emphasize, like I did with, the safety position, I am not saying we're going to neglect the offensive line. They need to improve the offensive line. My only take and my only guarantee here is that they're not going to do it in the first round. So all in all, they can use a second round pick on a safety. I'd be fine with that. Can they use a second round pick on an offensive lineman? Absolutely. And they might do that. Free agency, trades, these are positions that they can go after in those, those different areas. But I'm again, firm, confident, no offensive lineman in this year's first round, and no safety as well. My fourth guarantee for this offseason is going to be that the New York Jets are going to aggressively pursue adding a wide receiver 1 to this football team. So I talked about Calvin Ridley. Let's just go ahead and say that that doesn't work out for whatever reason. They're not able to do that, or they're not interested in doing that. And maybe they don't view any of the wide receivers in free agency as a wide receiver 1. I believe the New York Jets will use that one of those first round picks, either trading back from 4 or even drafting at number 10 overall. I believe the New York Jets will try to add a guy like Garrett Wilson, the wide receiver from Ohio State University, or even trading back from 10, maybe just a few spots, and landing the wide receiver Treylon Burks from Arkansas. They need to add some talent to that group. We're potentially losing Jamison Crowder. We're potentially losing Braxton Berrios, which I know a lot of fans do not want to see happen, including myself. We know the issues that are going on with Denzel Mims, and I wouldn't be surprised at all if the Jets, they move on from Denzel Mims. So you're looking at a wide receiver room that is super thin. I didn't even mention Keelan Cole. Keelan Cole is also pending free agent. So they have to make a move to address that position. And again, it would be a huge disservice to the franchise, to Zach Wilson, and to the opportunity to improve in 2022 if they do not make a big time move at that position. My final guarantee for the 2022 offseason, I think the New York Jets, because they are coaching at the Senior Bowl, I think they're going to identify and find somebody that they really, really covet during their time there at the practices. And I believe they will draft somebody that is a standout at the Senior Bowl. Right now, my fingers are crossed that guy is Jeremy Ruckert, the tight end from Ohio State. I really, really like what I see from him on film. And again, if you just look at the production there, this is a guy that can make big plays and can be an impact player in the red zone for Zach Wilson. We all know the tight end room is not even remotely good enough. And so the Jets, I believe, are going to sign a tight end in free agency. I think they're going to draft a tight end. And so that's my final prediction, and my final guarantee there is that I believe the Jets will fall in love with somebody at the Senior Bowl. I'm going to wrap this video up right now. I want to thank you for watching. Again, if you could please, jet up the like button on this video, I would greatly appreciate that. And again, if you enjoyed the content, please consider subscribing. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Are there any players that you think I didn't mention? And, are any of my guarantees, something that you would agree with, disagree with? I would love for you to let me know in the comments. Hope you all have an awesome day. Go Jets, and I'll see you guys next time.